So I'm feeling a lot better, thankfully. That's good. So I said I wasn't going to really make a video series on this, but that's when I was feeling like doo-doo and very unmotivated. You know, especially the process that it takes to make YouTube videos. It's definitely not an easy thing. Eats up a lot of time, but it's fun and educational. I try to teach you guys. So today I owe you guys an explanation on why this appeared, the backstory on it, and I'm probably going to share a little bit more about it and what upgrades are coming for it. So let's go ahead and let's get started on a little backstory. There's going to be some videos from a few weeks back on it and everything, kind of choppied up. Hopefully I can smooth that out for you guys here real soon. This is the video series on the 1982 Yamaha XJ1100, my first motorcycle. Okay, so a little bit of a backstory here. It might be a little longer. I might start rambling on. Just tell me to stop. Hey, while you're right there, subscribe, like, comment. Gonna have more of this. This, you know, just whatever anymore. My dad got this in a trade. Back when I was young, 10 maybe. It was an all-stock 1982 Yamaha XJ1100J. This is a one-year made motorcycle, so there's a lot of unique stuff to it, including the ignition system. He got it in a trade. It was the typical maroon color on it. It had the giant fairing on the front of it and everything like that, and pretty much it was definitely something out of the 80s, no doubt. After some time, he got rid of that big old fairing, put the current headlight assembly on it and everything, and it was still stock. You know, it looked something exactly out of a book and everything, you know. It was the typical setup, and it was like that for many, many years. Well, he was getting into the motorcycle phase, I guess you'd call it. Everybody gets into something like that and whatnot, and he was kind of on a time crunch, but he had a plan to make it look more like a chopper kind of thing, you know, ratty, you know, stuff like that. Home built, cool thing and whatnot. He made custom forward controls for it. It had been painted many different times, from a dark gray color, iridescent, to an experimental blue and yellow that bubbled up very badly, as my memory recalls. They did not interact whatsoever. And then finally, there might have been more colors in there and stuff, but finally settled on this blue color that I have no clue what it's called. But he did a lot of work to it and everything like that. He put a custom fender on it and everything. He got that one. Custom fender. Let's see if we can get you guys more on. So, a custom fender. The exhaust pipes were something he had gotten before he did all these modifications to it and everything and whatnot. It makes it sound really nice. I know the welds are not pretty. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of sketchy, but it's worked for years. But I am going to go and improve some safety things on it and everything and stuff. I started riding this when I was 18. This is definitely not a beginner's motorcycle, but I had always rode passenger when it did have 2 seats on it. And I just knew the feel and the sound of it. And this bike does not disappoint whatsoever in any aspect. Pretty much it was whatever could be gotten on the cheap and stuff like that, but it wasn't unsafe or anything. You know, he did custom for the triple trees to put bars 1 inch. I remember him having to ream these out and everything, drill and everything to fit these from like a 7/8 that they come from the factory. So that's nice and everything. And the ape hangers on this are perfect for a bigger guy and everything. My hands are not above my shoulders. Stupid super comfortable. It originally came with air shocks. Has coilovers he put onto it. Like I said, he went for a solo seat. Here it is right here and everything, and it's stupid comfortable. The forward controls, if you squint, it's mint, all right? So I'll try to improve upon those and everything. Everything worked as it should. There was never once that I had a problem. The shifting pattern is backwards. All right, on motorcycles, one is down, rest are up. Because of how things were done, one is up and the rest are down, which makes for a really comfortable ride. You know, just decals he had put on it. Original front fender, it has dents and dings, was chrome. That original front headlight setup I talked to you about. Old girl only has 29,000, almost 30,000 miles on her. And don't be fooled. Maximum horsepower is at 8,000 RPM at 95 horsepower. That's pretty substantial. 6,500 RPM is 65 foot-pounds torque. So, got a lot of work to do. I did get the brakes cleaned out and working. If you've seen my Instagram, we can go check that out in my About section on this channel. I could probably put a link in the description to it. I kind of post a bunch of pictures on there and my Facebook. But we got to get the brakes and stuff. They all work. The front one, there's dragging, and every year my dad would have to take it off and do stuff after it sat over the winter and whatnot. So, but one of the things you'll be seeing here in the older videos from past few weeks is the old CV carburetors. They are just when it was parked with fuel in it, and it sat for so many years that there's ports inside of it I just cannot get cleaned out. And you'll see how where I get them synchronized somewhat and everything. I get them to where they're at a level. It may not be the best vacuum in the world, but even then, no matter what I did, I messed around for hours on these things, and either number 3 or number 4, which I'm suspecting it's number 3 because it acted like it wasn't getting enough fuel or something, it would backfire, it would pop. And it's got all new spark plugs. I checked spark with timing light. There's no skips, there's no nothing like that. So it would pop when you open the throttle up, and then when you let off, it would also do another pop, which is indicating like a lean pop, despite what the spark plug is saying. So somewhere along the line, there's a problem. The original plugs, all were burning rich. And there's no real adjustment. It was all factory on this thing when it comes to stuff like that. All the jets, everything was stock. The idle circuit is non-adjustable on these. So I can't even mess with that. So what I'm saying is those carburetors, I've already got a new set on the way. They're Mikuni RS's. So hopefully we'll be doing a video on doing that. These CV carbs love a bigger air box like that, and you cannot find air filters for these anymore. They have probably not existed since the 90s. So giant air box is going to be gone. More compact, better slide carbs are on the way, and I can run pod filters. So that's going to be a big old plus on this, more modern and everything, because these carburetors right here, I really can't find them at all. You can find rebuild kits for SXs, and they work in these, but I want to upgrade. I want, especially the air filter setup. It's just hands down, that's what I want to do. New petcocks, vacuum controlled both sides. Worked fantastic. Had an eBay seller, had a problem with one. Got it resolved real quick and right on the way and stuff. So all this is kind of temporary and stuff. We're going to clean that up. Bike needs cleaned up, polished and stuff. But first I want to get it on the good running streak. 4-cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's a little oil drip that was happening, but now it appears after I tightened up the nut on it, it's solid. So with the new carburetors on the way, it is highly advised to do a push-pull setup. This is only a pull. Pull setup means pull, and when you push, it would also force the slides closed. And sliders, it is an absolute must that you do that. So we're gonna have to upgrade that. When I get them, we'll have to measure our lengths and everything for all this stuff. So we've got lots to do. We'll need new tires. But also one thing with carburetors is I used to be able to choke this thing and it'd fire right up. And even like halfway warmed up, even on a cold day, you can half choke it, go down the road and just let off of it slowly. Now this engine's got to be absolutely hot before it wants to even think about you taking that choke off and idling. So unfortunately, like I say, it just feels like the carburetors. I'm going to look up shimming the valves and everything on it. So turn the key on here, and you move the key location down here. So everything is good. The fuel gauge, actually, surprisingly, it still works. I never had to take it out or anything. It still worked in there. So it's telling me here and there a lot of little stuff and whatnot it needs. An oil cooler has been on my decision. These do run hot. And it would go down underneath with the oil cooler. It's down here. Hopefully you can see it, that big old canister looking thing. And then it just mount up in front of the engine or something like that. My dad was going to do that. He was making an adapter, but plans stopped on that too. He finally stopped riding it though when he bought his Harley. Everything, he really wanted a Harley and stuff like that. So, and then he ended up, he's giving this to me. Thank you, Dad, very much. And I couldn't have been happier. Despite it needs some work. You guys know me. I love the work on these things and everything, and so I'm like I said, 18 I started riding it, 21 I stopped because life, got with my now wife, and we've known each other for 18 years, and had a child, and just progressing life to where we own a house and finally have somewhere to settle to where we can say I can bring stuff like this in where I feel comfortable. So. All right, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump to the videos of picking it up. I really didn't have a good one. Hyperlapse unloading, little stuff here and there, and you'll hear my tone of voice how it's kind of, so I didn't really want to force that upon, but we'll go ahead and quit muttering here and stuff like that. We'll get started. And I did also buy new intake boots, all 4 of them. So luckily there's aftermarket on that. So hopefully if there's any suggestions you think you would do or whatnot, leave it down in the comments. What would you do? A bobber style or cafe racer or, I mean, like I say, I want to put a second seat on this too. Put one that can detach for the wife and everything to sit on here. She can ride and everything. So lots of planning to do here. So, all right, without further ado, we'll go ahead and we'll go back. Yeah, we're bringing her home today. But first, we got to get the tire aired up. And I'm buried. All right, well, here it is, finally home. A winch was worth every penny of making. So, anyways, here it is, a 1982 Yamaha XJ1100. This my dad's giving it to me. It's been sitting for, I think, about almost 5 years. Easily. It's been sitting, probably not in that same spot, but it hasn't been ran in like 5 to 8 years. Went on a lot of adventures with it. So, dirty, we're gonna wash it. 29,748,000 original miles. This is a direct drive. This bike did everything I ever asked of it. Absolutely amazing. Homemade custom forward controls. As ugly as they are, they worked. Biggest problem with this bike was always the brakes. Every year had to bleed them and redo them. I don't even know if there's liquid in them or anything like that. It's both of them are dead. So either it leaked it all out or we've got our work cut out for us. So just want to say thanks for coming along with this ride. And we've got a lot more coming up for us. I don't know. Fuel in it. Like a half gallon. On reserve, I guess. They're aftermarket petcocks, so. Ugh. Not too stupid fond of that. Got spark. We've got ignition. Obviously compression. It's been a long time. It's a kill switch. Don't need so much choke. A little more idle. Woo! ATF's burning off. A little more idle speed. And of course they put it right next to the cylinder. I'm only seeing one side so far. Get the starter a moment here. Hopefully the other side's turning on with the fuel and everything. Vacuum line and everything. I tested both and they worked. It's acting like it ain't getting enough fuel. May have to add more actually, so we'll go ahead. That's what we'll do real quick here. Oh, I added like maybe a half gallon, so. It lives. Get the smoke out of here. So we got a lot of carb synchronization to do, obviously. You try to take it off choke, rev it up, nothing. So there's a lot to be done here. So hopefully that'll be here real quick. Alright, so I've been playing with it for a little bit. The valves need adjusted. The needles they're not going to hold steady, but also the vacuum line that came with the gauges, any little bit of heat, they expand and just want to melt. So I cannot tune it that way. So unfortunately, I can't really sync the carbs real easily, but it's firing on all four, so that's a good thing. Alright, well, I know one guy in town. Might have to try to give him a call. An old friend of my dad's that knows these bikes top to bottom. Okay, so as you saw, I've done work to it and everything. I said I messed for hours on them carbs, and it just isn't, it wasn't working out. And those hours, see my Instagram, I put pictures, uploaded and stuff like that and everything. It took me 5.5 hours to rebuild them carbs because I had never done it, but some of the jets fighting and everything to get them out and whatnot. And the book I have isn't super detailed and doesn't show IPL cutaways and everything on how things got out of it. So it was definitely one of those things. A guy could probably save them, but I want upgrades and stuff. So, like I say, I don't know if I'm going to put the carbs on this year, if it's going to be something I do next year. Depends on the weather, them arriving and stuff. But if I do put them on this year, I'm going to run that expensive can fuel just to prevent any ethanol from getting in. Because if it's going to sit over the winter, drain them, everything like that and whatnot. So there's going to be a lot to do and whatnot on this old girl and everything, but hopefully you'll be here for the adventure and whatnot. And I know at this time of year, everybody's not around their TV as much, especially me. You know, making videos there might be some weeks where it doesn't happen also because the weather's beautiful. I'm out on weekends going with the family to, you know, what is it? Anything like little festivals that are happening in towns. Flea markets, we love doing flea market runs and everything around the state, finding out more about them. And just in general, this time of year is my time of year. Fall, winter, I love to thrive a little bit more. Summertime, if it's stupid hot, air conditioning. So, all right. Like I say, maybe one day, if anybody's nearby or anything, this thing will do a whole lot better on gas than my truck at 10 miles to the gallon. So last I calculated this thing years ago was 35 miles to the gallon. So maybe I can make it to where I can strap a chainsaw, come visit one of you guys, show a saw, go cut wood. I don't know. Any of you guys that ride motorcycles are near me, maybe one day we can meet up and, you know, shoot the breeze, go for a small ride, something like that. Let me know in the comments. Who rides bikes? Motorcycles, you know, you do that. Maybe someday we could be down to meet up and have everything, motorcycles and Max. Who knows? So, all right. I'm just, you know, going on and on and on and everything. So we've got a long ways to go on this, but the carbs is going to be the biggest thing. So I'm waiting to hear back on the tracking and stuff like that and everything. Company out of California had them and everything. They were the cheapest, and actually got to talk to somebody on a phone legitimately and not just order straight through eBay. And eBay was going to be a lot more expensive. We're talking about $400 more on eBay for the exact same carburetors. And I researched for a week, and scoured the internet, you know, for the best place to find it and everything. So when they arrive, hopefully we'll have a video on unboxing, tossing, and, you know, I got to go and research more of the throttle cable setups and stuff and links and everything. We've got a lot to do. So if it doesn't get done this year, I don't know how much we're going to continue through winter, getting cold out and stuff and whatnot. So we got a lot. So, all right, like I said, I just felt if I owed you guys a little bit of an explanation here and everything on this motorcycle and how suddenly in the background of one of my videos, my fixing the 101 AA block, I told about it and everything, it just appears there. So All right, enough rambling on and everything. So I want to say thanks for watching, and if you like what you see here, you know, chainsaw wise, if you want to see more small engines, I like to bring those back to life and everything. Any future projects or something, you know, hopefully we'll get a shed built at some point next year and whatnot. So just want to say thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, let me know, do you ride motorcycles?